Hi everyone! Today I have a really cute card for you today. It is a box card and we are using the adorable Freezin Fun bundle, which are these dies. These are the Freezin Friends dies and this is the stamp set. This is such a cute stamp set. It makes the cutest cards, and so I thought it would be really cute to make a box card. Now you can fold this flat and you can stick it in the mail in an envelope and it will mail. And then the recipient can just pop it up and it'll stand up on their desk or their mantle or wherever they want to show it. Now this card is a little taller than 5.5, so it won't fit in a standard size envelope, but this is 4 1/4. So if you keep your card at 5.5 and stop at 5.5, then you can use a regular envelope. Otherwise you'll have to use a slightly bigger envelope. But let me show you how easy it is to make this card. So first we're going to start with the actual box part of the card. So I have a piece of Highland Heather. This one was Melon Mambo. Today we're going to use Highland Heather, and this is 9 by 2 1/4, and we're going to do some scoring on it. So let me get out my Simply Scored, and we are going to score it on the 9-inch side. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Pull this down just a little bit. 1/2 inch, 1.5. 4 3/4, and 5 3/4. And then I also have a little piece that is 4 1/4 by 1, and we're going to score this 1/2 inch on each side. And this is going to be the little piece that goes inside of our box and gives it that little brace or that area to put in kind of a third layer, if that makes any sense. You'll see what I mean when we're making it. Okay, so let's get out a bone folder and we're going to fold and burnish on these lines. We're just going to fold these simply just like this. And then this one, we're just going to fold those lines as well. Now you want to use a really strong adhesive when you're adhering this together. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus. You can use tear tape, you can use the Tombow multi-purpose glue, and all you want to do is put some adhesive on that 1/2 inch tab and then bring this side around. Just make sure that they're nice and even and square, and that is it. That is pretty much the basis of your box card. And this is going to be the back because that's where our tab went, and so I'm going to put some adhesive on these 1/2 inch tabs as well. You want to go with a strong adhesive for this as well, and these are going to go in. Just going to fold those in, and you're just going to stick these in, excuse me, and they're going to sit right at the top. And I want those 1/2 inch lines. So this is going to go right in the middle. So that 1/2 inch tab is butted up right against the back of the box. Does that make sense? So you just have an extra little brace in there. And so that will fold flat still. You can fold it in either direction. And this is going to be part of what we glue all of our little pieces on. So this is what it should look like. You should have 3 little tabs in here now. All right, so that's just the shell of the box. So let's get to all of our little pieces. I've already pre-colored and stamped a bunch of them. So we have one of the little skiing bunnies. We have a tree, a large tree. We have a little seal and an iceberg and a smaller tree. So I'm just going to set all these aside. We have a snowboard, and you'll see they're all colored with Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to color these two with Stampin' Blends. And I have some blanks cut too. These aren't stamped at all. These are just white die cut pieces, and you'll see why we need those for some of them in a minute. So let's color our penguin and our little stack of snowballs. We're going to start with our snowballs, and I'm going to do my dark pool party and then my color blend, my color lifter. So all I'm going to do, there's these little hash marks where the artist has put in on the stamp, and I'm just going to go make one line over those with my dark pool party, and then I'm going to go in with my color lifter, and I'm just going to go over that and then just kind of blend that out. And that's just going to soften the pool party a little bit and blend it into the rest of the snowball. That's just going to give some shadowing on our snowballs so that they're not stark white. So that is it for the snowballs. Super easy. Now for the little penguin, let's start with his beak and his feet. I'm using Mango Melody. I'm not going to do a whole lot of blending because he's such a tiny little space. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dark where his feet meet his body, And then I'm just going to color his beak with dark completely. We're not even going to try to blend on his beak. Too small of an area. Then I'm going to take my light mango melody and then just blend out on his feet. Just like that. And that's it. That's it for his feet. Super easy. All right. For his body, let me bring this one back in so you can see. For his body, for the black part, I am going to use a combination of light basic black and dark smoky slate. So I'm going to use the light basic black as my dark color, and I'm going to use the dark smoky slate as my light color. So I'm going to add a little bit of shading right here on his arm, just kind of where it's meeting his body, and the same on this side. And I'm going to add lots of shading under his scarf because it's going to cast a shadow. And just a little bit by his feet down here. We're not really going to add too much black because the black is so dominant. I'm going to do a little bit just right up there for his little feather. The black is very, very dominant. If you do too much, you can make it too dark. So now I'm going to go in with my dark smoky slate. And I'm just going to blend him out. We do sell the black blends, the basic black blends in a combo. So if you wanted to make him really dark, you could use the basic black, light, and dark to make him really, really dark. All right, I think that is good. We're not doing too much blending on him. He is so cute though. All right, I'm gonna take my Highland Heather for his hat and his scarf. So again, I'm gonna start with my dark and just go on each end, and then we'll blend it into the middle. I'm gonna do the same with his hat. I'm using my dark just on the brim of his hat and then the top. I'm just adding a little bit to that little pom-pom on his hat. And the scarf, the same way, just on either side of his scarf. And then I'll take my light and I'll just blend all of that out. So I'm just gonna go in kind of light, small circles where the dark and light meet, and then I'll just bring all of those together. The small circles really help blend that darker color out. And again, these are very small areas, so too much blending isn't really required. And you could just color these flat with your Stampin' Blends too, or you can watercolor them or color them however you want. All right, this is looking pretty cute. Right, we have one more thing to do to him just to give him a little bit of extra character. We're gonna add some rosy cheeks to him, and I'm gonna use my light Calypso Coral for that. And I'm just gonna add a little dot to either side. And then I'm going to go in with my color lifter again and then just kind of soften those, just go over them and soften them just a little bit. And that is it. That is our little penguin guy. Isn't he cute? Okay, now let's get everything else put together. I've already done some other die cutting. So in the dies, you'll find a really fun swoopy hill here. And so I've already cut some of our pieces. I have 3 pieces cut with that hill, and I have different variations of the hill for them. This piece we're going to put right on the cover, and this is 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So this piece we're just going to go ahead and glue flat, but we do want to stamp the greeting on it first. So let's move our hills out of the way and let's stamp our greeting. And I'm going to use Highland Heather for that. And the greeting that I'm using comes from the Banner Year stamp set. That's the stamp set that's also in our mini catalog. It has some really great greetings in there. Now this one I separated it. I stamped it twice, but this one I'm just going to stamp once down at the bottom. Just like that. Perfect. All right, and we are done with our Highland Heather ink. I'm going to pull out one more ink. We're going to do Pool Party, but we are just going to shade our hills. I'm going to bring back in all those hills, and I'm just going to take my sponge dauber and just gently shade all those hills. And once you get all the stamping, coloring, and inking done, the assembly goes very quickly. So I just dropped my window sheet on the floor, so I'm gonna have to pick that up real quick. All right. Okay, so I do have a piece of window sheets. This is about 2.5 by 1. I know that's hard to see on camera because it's clear, but I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that. All right, let's start assembling this. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus, you can use your Tombow glue, whatever works for you. This is just gonna go right on the cover of our little box, and I like to lay it flat because it's easier to line up that way, I feel. And so I am just lining that all up just like that. Super cute. All right, we are going to put one of the hills in the very back, and I think I'm going to go with the tallest one. Yeah, I think so. I think this is the tallest one, and you know what? We stamped this one on the wrong layer, so we're going to have to restamp it, but that's okay. So I'm going to put a strip of adhesive just along the bottom. And this is going to go on our back here. And I'm doing this one just slightly differently than I did my other one, but that's okay. That shows you that you can do lots of variation. So you'll see on this hill, I actually glued it to the centerpiece, but this one I'm going to glue it in the back because I want to glue my bunny to the centerpiece. So I have one hill there, and then I think I'm going to go with this other hill here, and I'm going to glue that to the centerpiece, and I'm going to actually put glue, yeah, I'm going to do it on the back. And that's going to go right here, and I want this hill to be shorter, so I'm going to go a little lower with this hill and just adhere that down. And fold it flat, make sure everything's nice and adhered. So you can see our scene is coming together. Now let's pull out our Highland Heather again and stamp our greeting on this piece, because this piece is going to cover up that other piece. So you can see there's no mistakes in stamping. And then we're going to stick this piece onto our box. And then from here, it's just a matter of adding our little fun guys here. So I'm just going to cover this up. There we go. You can see our little hilly background is coming together. So let's start with our penguin here at the top. Let's start with him. So I have this window sheet. I really wanted to make it look like he was flying off that snowboard. So I'm going to stick the window sheet to the back. So I'm going to actually use some multi-purpose liquid glue for this. I'm going to add some to the front of that. And then I'm just going to stick this onto the back of my snowy hill off to the left here. And then we're going to start sticking our little guys on. Now I'm going to adhere him. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue kind of on the bottom of him. And I'm just going to stick him on here pretty high up. I want him to really be flying up off that window sheet. So cute, right? And then we're going to stick the snowboard right under him. Just like this, stuck to that window sheet. Isn't that cute? Now I am going to flip it over because, as you can see, Stampin' Blends bleed through the back, and so I don't want any of that to show. So I'm going to take those blank pieces that we die cut, and we're just going to kind of sandwich those in between the window sheet. That way all you see from the back is just white. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing to our little penguin here. And let's get him lined up. Perfect. Just give it a second for that glue to attach. Perfect. And then when you flip it back over, he just looks like a super cute penguin. All right, let's move on. So I have my bunny, and I've also cut a blank for my bunny and for my tree as well. So we're gonna just adhere these together because they're not gonna be sandwiched between a window sheet. So we can just adhere these together, and that just makes a really clean finish for our card. So let's just adhere these guys together. And I'm using my Tombow glue. Again, you could use any glue for this. You could even use glue dots to stick everything together. All right. Very cute. All right, now we're just going to adhere these down. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just on the bottom of my tree. I like Tombow because it's so strong, and I'm going to put my tree down here in the bottom of this hill. Just make sure it's straight. There we go. And then we're going to add our little bunny right here. So I'm only going to put glue on the bottom of his skis, just like this. And then finally, we're gonna work on our little scene at the bottom. So I'm gonna do my little seal. We don't need backings for these because they're going straight on here. And I'm gonna add him to a little iceberg, just like this. And while he's drying, I'm gonna put on our tree. And that's going to go right there, right at the bottom of the hill. If you love scene building stamps, this is a great one for you. I'm just going to tear off a little bit of a dimensional. I've my edges left on that piece, and I'm just going to stick it on the back of him, and we're going to stick him right in front of the tree. And then we're just going to give them a little pile of snowballs. And that creates our little scene card. Isn't that adorable? You can fold this flat, mail it to somebody, or you can just hand deliver it. And either way, it is such a cute card. I did finish this one with some snowflakes, some of the adhesive snowflakes that are also in the mini catalog. So you can also finish it off with little touches like that. But I think this is such a cute and fun card. You'll have to let me know what you think about it in the comments. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, and thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or need to shop for any supplies, please head to my online store, and I appreciate all of your business. Thanks.